Now I did a video about fitting a alternator belt to an EP3 K20A2 engine before, and previously someone pointed out the belt was too tight. I got sold the wrong one, which is a 7PK, which is how many ribs it's got, and 1275, which is the length. And actually what you need is a 7PK, so it's the right number of ribs, but 1283, which is 1283 millimeters in length for the whole belt. So this is a slightly longer belt. There's not a lot in it. There's 8 millimeters, but 8 millimeters makes all the difference when it comes to fitting these. It's a very, very simple process on these cars, which is good. Because all you need to do is undo the 12 millimeter here and a 12 millimeter there. You undo that one, you loosen this one, and then this whole mechanism comes forward. What I've found, it's actually easier to remove the bonnet stay, because it gives you a little bit more room, and I'll just do that first. But it's very simple. Obviously take it out of here, and then not all people's bonnet stays are going to be too compliant, but this one will just with two hands will maybe I could wheedle it out. No, two hands, I'll just take it out. Let's stay out, and the little plastic bit as well, and it usually goes there. And I've just got a crowbar just in there to prop the bonnet. Leave that there, and now, like I say, just use a ratchet with 12mm and take this bolt out fully in there, and just slacken the other one. So when this is that bolt's out and that's slack, you can just rock that over like that. And like I say, this is why you take the bonnet stay out, because it just gives you a bit of extra room, and then you can just pluck the old belt out. You've got to remember which way it goes. So all of the ribbed sides goes on the belts with the grooves, and all of the idlers, this is the auto tensioner, but the other idlers with a flat surface, that's where the back of the belt goes. That's quite an easy way of remembering it. And then you can just take the belt out, feed it through, and just keep in mind where the belt was originally. So just a bit more of where the belt goes. So there is, down there is where the belt goes over the crank pulley, and it comes up, goes round the back of this auto tensioner, up round the this little idler pulley, down to the alternator, and then the back of the belt goes round the power steering pump, and then it goes back to the crank. So that's the full route. First thing I'm going to do is, you see that little clip down there, I'm just going to rotate it round so that I can't catch my belt on it. So you can just see there, I've just rotated that little clip out the way, so it will no longer be difficult to install this belt because it's kind of in the way. So the first step is you just place the belt in there, and then what I'm going to have to do is turn the belt round so it's flat to get it over the crank pulley, and I'll do that next. Feed it through like this, and you see I'm on top of the crank pulley now, so all I've got to do is loop it over the crank pulley. I'll show you what it looks like. You just got to make sure that you're over the crank pulley, and then you're just putting it round the back of the power steering pump, over the alternator, and then from the crank the other side is just going over this idler pulley. And then the final thing you want to do, that's where everything in place, so you've got to push this belt here over the back of this auto tensioner, and then this is the point where you just want to check all the belts is where it needs to be, which it looks like it needs no adjustment really there. So now the final thing is, you can just snap this thing closed. We've obviously make sure this bolt here, the 12mm, is not got too much play in it. When these belts are new, this isn't exactly the easiest of things to do with one hand, so I'm going to do it with two. Feeling particularly strong, you can just get a bolt in there, and a crowbar in here, and just kind of rock it over. Just get it past that point. Past that point, just take the old bolt out, and then push it. There we go. And then you can just get your 12mm you are going to use, place it in here, and then you just kind of push that side and line the bolt up and don't cross thread it. What I'm going to do is just get my big screwdriver in here, and like that, and just close up that gap, you see, like that, and then just lightly thread in my bolt. I'm not pushing hard, it's just to get everything lined up. You don't want to try and go in like that and be the bolt at the wrong angle and just completely screw all your threads up. By putting a bit of tension on here to move this over a bit, and then you just screw in the 12mm nicely. And then when you've tightened this 12mm up, you can tighten the bottom 12mm, and then it's just a matter of placing back in the bonnet stay. That's there. And then grab the bonnet stay. Right. And this just kind of got to wheedle in from this angle. I'll do it with two hands. That's it, we're all back together now. Just run the engine and just check that the belt's going as it should. So that's running. And then just check that the belt's all it should be, and that's done.